Hello. In this video, we're going to name the quadrant in which each angle lies. Now, we have three different angles, 230 degrees, negative 580 degrees, and 1380 degrees. And the easiest way to do this is to get the smallest, we want the angle basically to be between 0, I'm going to call it theta, is less than or equal to, well, it's not 180, let's say less than 360 degrees. Okay, so what this means is I want the theta to be the smallest positive angle between 0 and 360. Now, the reason I want to do that is because if we look at the coordinate grid, the x-axis is actually 0 degrees because the initial side and the terminal side are the same thing, and you don't move anywhere, so it just stays right there. That means that it's a 0 degree angle. Go up this way. This is 1/4 of a circle. That means that the y-axis would be 360 divided by 4, which is, of course, 90 degrees. And that tells me that every quadrant is 90 degrees. And then keep going over here, so add on another 90 degrees to this. That would give us 180 degrees. In other words, the negative x-axis is 180 degrees. And then going down one more 90 degrees, that gives us 270 degrees. And then add on one more, that would of course give us another 360 degrees. Good deal. So this tells me that quadrant 1 has everything between 0 and 90. Quadrant 2 has everything between 90 and 180. Quadrant 3 has everything between 180 and 270. And quadrant 4 has everything between 270 and 360. Now, the first one is not actually that difficult because, well, frankly, it's already between 0 and 360. So it says 230 degrees. And I'm not going to draw the initial side. I'm just going to draw the terminal side because the initial side will always be the x-axis. That means that the terminal side, 230 degrees, is about 40 degrees less than the 270 or 50 above the 180, which means that it will look something like this. This would be 230 degrees. And notice, what quadrant is that? That's quadrant 3. So over 230 degrees, that would be quadrant 3. That would be the answer. Good deal. Next, let's look at the negative 580 degrees. This one we actually have to do something with. We need to get to a positive angle that's still coterminal. So it's basically the smallest positive coterminal angle. So to get there, we're going to first add on 360 degrees. So negative 580 plus 360 is what? Negative 220. So negative 220 degrees. But that's still not positive, so let's add on 360 again. So negative 220 plus 360 would be positive 140 degrees. Awesome. Now what that means is that it's 50 degrees larger than this, 40 degrees less than that, which means that the actual angle itself would look something about like that. Now notice that what quadrant that lies in is quadrant 2. So the answer here is that this is quadrant 2. Now basically what's happening here to get this actual angle, we start here at the x-axis and go around once and again to the right there. So that's actually what the negative 580 degrees would look like. Alright, next let's look at this 1380 degrees. So this 1380 is positive, but it's not the smallest positive coterminal angle. So let's go ahead and begin by subtracting off 360 degrees. So subtracting off 360 gives me positive 1020. But that's not the smallest, because we can subtract off 360 again. And what does that give us? Negative 660? Sorry, positive 660? Yeah. Awesome. I can again, however, subtract off another 360 degrees. And if you do so, that gives you 300 degrees. Now, notice that I cannot subtract off 300 degrees because or subtract off another 360, because if I do, that gives me negative 60 degrees, which is not what we wanted. We wanted it to be between 0 and 360. I really should put that there. There we go. Now what that means is that the 300 degrees will be 30 degrees more than 270 and 60 degrees less than 360. So this angle will look something like, let's say that. There you go. And that would be the angle. And notice what quadrant that is. That is quadrant 4. So the answer here is quadrant 4. Now, the angle itself is positive, so it would start here and go up once, twice, and not quite a third time. No, actually, yeah, a third time, and not quite a fourth time. There we go. Yeah. Because we were able to subtract off 3 of the 360s. And that's what that angle would look like. Alrighty. Well, I believe that's it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I will see you in the next one. Have fun.